it's whatever you want for whoever's there. It's political for those who want to be political. It's a family day. It's people coming together. You go back 50 years, whatever, people might not say each other from one year into the next, and that's where they'd meet, in the middle of Durham. Specific place, perhaps a pub, perhaps a site on the riverbank, wherever. And it's Defiance is it just nostalgia? It's a long way from being nostalgia, but it plays a part. And it's about community. It's about bringing people together, and it's amazing that it's kept going. But the spirit and what's really exciting to young people coming through.
Some know it as the gala, others know it as the big meeting. Thousands know it as one of the biggest events in the North East social calendar. And 2023 is an especially poignant year for the Durham Miners Gala, because it's 30 years since the last of the pits shut in the Durham Coalfield. That pit was Wearmouth Colliery, which employed thousands of people over its years.
When I get to the football matches, that brings back mixed emotions, but to realise that it's 30 years since the pit closed. I mean, I remember it as if it was yesterday. Being there on December the 10th, giving interviews and all the rest of it. It was the end of 167 years of coal mining at Wearmouth. Yeah. So yeah, there was and still are mixed emotions.
Clearly, as far as we're concerned, it was the wrong thing to do, not just for ourselves as workers, but for the country as a whole.
But the gala is everything that's positive about coal mining, communities that have suffered dreadfully over the years, over many years, going back to the 60s when they started the pit closure programs, all the way through to December 1993 when Wearmouth closed, the last coal mine in the once great Durham Coalfield. But the fact that the Durham Miners Gala is still there defies all logic, really. It really does.
It's gone from strength to strength. There was a short period after the closure programme when we thought we were going to lose it. Finances weren't very good in here. Then we had some successful legal cases, which meant we could use the money raised from that to fund the gala. But now we've reached out and we work with friends and supporters. I chair the group called the Miners, yes, which is the fundraising arm, and between us we've raised in 8 years something over £1 million, which goes towards the infrastructure of the gala. It's nothing to do with any of the big knobs and in the hotels and the meals. It's about the gala on the day, security, safety, people having a good time.
So due to all these people, and of course people like Durham County Council and others who have been very, very helpful. I know it brings a lot of money, a lot of revenue into the city on Gala Day. I mean, when you're talking of 200,000 people, maybe in excess of that, spending money, the bars are always full, the restaurants, the hotels are packed out a year before. Yeah. It's absolutely financially beneficial to the business community as well, and to the city of Durham.
I think you've got to go back in history. I mean, it's been going since 1871, yeah. So there's a huge tradition of it.
My earliest memories of the Miners Gala are going with my dad when I was tiny, so probably only 6 or 7, and Durham was full of adults, full of giant people to me at the time, sort of probably 250,000 of them. And I remember just thinking, this is a bit scary. But you soon grew into it as you listened to the noise of the bands, of the banners going past, and the march and the drums.
It's always held in the same place. I worked in Yorkshire as a young lad, and we used to rotate around the area, and it didn't have the same feel.
My earliest memory was coming with some schoolmates. I went to school in Southwick in Sunderland, and we were about 13, and one of the lads said, it's a Miners Gala on Saturday, so we jumped on the bus and we came through. And that must have been about 1968, something like that, round about that time. And the crowds of people and the singing and the dancing. I didn't think I really appreciated it. I certainly didn't appreciate brass bands at that time, and didn't understand the meaning of the banners and stuff. But such a joyous occasion, And everybody, I mean, back in the day, and the adults out and about having a drink, and we were too young to get in the pubs in them days. But it was just the carnival atmosphere and the jolly atmosphere that was there. And then my earliest memory as an adult is when I started marching in with the Weymouth banner back in about 1975, 1976, 76. Marching from the welfare on Thompson Road down to the pit, where would have 5 or 6 buses parked, packing people onto the buses and then away to Durham.
It was always good crack going through the village early on the morning. We'd go from Hetley Hall, and other lads come from Easington Lane, and we'd meet in the middle and we'd walk along about 100 yards, and there was a row of Ace miners' cottages, and old miners and the wives would come out onto the patio of the place. We'd play a couple of tunes there, and that was really, really special. You're talking 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, get on the bus about 8 and come through to Durham. And the other one is standing in Silver Street where the road narrows.
Yes.
And you hear the first note of a trumpet, and it's like, if it doesn't bring tears to your eyes, you shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
You first see the banner, and then the band strikes up, and the hairs on the back of my neck still stand on end. It's just such an emotional time, because it's a time to remember people who've gone before us. I always see them. I see them every time that banner marches. I didn't march in with it now because I'm at the Royal County, but waiting for it coming round, saying, "Here's the Weymouth." And I love the banners. I love all the banners, but Weymouth's got a special place because it was my pit.
And did you march in that year when it shut?
Yes.
I mean, obviously it shut in the December.
Yeah,
so it would be the following
we
year.
marched in, and we were still fighting to keep it open at that time, and a couple of other pits in the area. There wasn't any economic reason, there wasn't any social reason to close the pits. They weren't uneconomical, contrary to what was being put out by government at the time. It was an act of vengeance against the National Union of Mine Workers. That's the only explanation for the closure of these pits. It's defiance.
Yeah.
You've killed our pit, you've killed our industry, you've succeeded in what you set out to do by killing our industry, but you'll not kill the spirit. And that's the positive of the Durham Miners Gala. You've got these communities, our mining communities, or former mining communities in County Durham, and the amount of them, they've got new banners, they've raised finances to create new banners in memory of their forebears. They'll hire bands to bring the banners into Durham, and they hire bands from some in Durham, but also from around the country. I think the general feeling is among people is that if the government's not going to do it for us, we'll do it for ourselves, and that's a massive sense of pride. Next month I'm going to a couple of events where they're having mini gala days. Tanfair Lee's one of them. Where in Burnhope they're having a banner exhibition. They have a banner exhibition in Hetton. So these events are taking place all the time, and what that does is inform youngsters of their heritage.
We can't forget, can we?
And we can't forget, and I don't think we should. And I don't think we should also always concentrate on the negatives. I think there's a lot of positives to come out of it. I'm involved in a project which you'll have heard of at the Stadium of Light, Calls to Goals. Along with others, I'm involved in that, and whenever I can I'll go and we're speaking to school kids from the Sunderland area about what it was like to work underground and what it was like, generally tell them about the coal industry, because if they're under about probably 35 or 36 or 7, they'll not remember when the pit was there.
Obviously I've got memories of going as an adult as well, with children and grandchildren, and it's a very different experience when you're taking the next generation of people, and it's wonderful that there's still so many people who go.
We get people from around the world coming, and it's really good, but it's as I said before, you can go, people go on the speeches, people go on the fun fair, people go on the boats, so there's something for everybody, and it just keeps them together.
It's a peaceful event, lively, really lively. and it means all kinds to all different people. Some are there for the political speeches, and that's very, very important. But some are there for the music, the bands. Some are there.
Aspect, isn't it? 'Cause there's always
Everything.
the part in the cathedral as well.
They've got the cathedral, that's the religious aspect of it. You've got the memorial service, the miners' service in the cathedral, which is always rammed. It's always jam-packed. It's the greatest event, working class event to me in the world. It's certainly the biggest in Britain, and it is a trade union event, but it means a lot to so many different people. It means everything to everybody. Everybody's got their own special memories of the gala, their expectations of the gala. I talk to people, I mean, people just want to come and talk to you. They want to have a bit talk to you about their dad, and I'm talking about people who were a lot older than me. They'll say, oh, my dad worked at this pit or that pit. Can you remember that? He closed in 1949. No, yeah, but you just have that chat, and it keeps the memories alive.
You can never underestimate how big it's going to be or overestimate how it's going to be. Last year I thought that it might not have been as big as what it had been, and it was phenomenal. It was the first proper one after COVID.
Yeah.
Even the place was saying 200,000 people, which was gobsmacking.
And what we need is that it continues well into the future, and we always implore people to make donations to Maras to keep that going.
This has kept going since 1871, and our intention is, long after we're gone, this thing still be going. It's focused around the miners history, but it's also the history of working people in this part of the world, and both nationally and internationally. And it's a tremendous thing, it really is.